And today, members of the Senate Judiciary Committee questioning Christopher Wray, and that is President Trump's pick to replace former FBI Director James Comey. Joining me now with a full analysis here is Dr. Lee Hanna, Assistant Professor of Political Science at Wright State University. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, let's dive right in here. So this new pick, Wray, the top criminal lawyer during the Bush administration. So he's worked with Comey. He's also worked with Mueller, who's now in charge of special counsel here for the Russia investigation. And we were talking a little bit about a strategy when you pick a candidate. What's the strategy behind it? What do you think about this nomination?
Well, many people, when he made this selection, I think June 7th or so, thought this was a pretty safe pick. And in light of kind of the firestorm around some of his selections, I think he needed that. And so far, I would say that Wray looks like someone who has the experience and the disposition that would fit a position like this. That runs for 10 years. It could span 2 or 3 administrations. So it's important that this is a good selection.
Okay, and I think everybody was, watching as he was being questioned about Russian interference in the 2016 election today. And he did promise that if he was ever asked to do anything immoral, he would resign. Now, after everything that has happened between Comey and President Trump, how do you envision those two working together? How do you envision Wray, leading the FBI under President Trump?
That will be the big question, I think, for several months. One thing that does help is that there is a special investigation, so he can defer a lot of the questions about, the Russian story to Mueller's investigation to immediately dive in, where if that weren't the case, he would probably be pressed right out the gate to make statements or make decisions about how they were going to follow up on this. So in that way, Mueller gives him a little bit of protection, I would say.
Okay, and his nomination requires confirmation by the full Senate, and so today Dianne Feinstein said that she would vote for him, and so I think now it's kind of looking forward. Where do we go from here? Do you think this is an easy process from here on out, or what do you envision happening?
Yes, Feinstein, a fairly liberal Democrat, so the fact that she is on board with this nomination makes me think that it will move fairly quickly. The FBI, they have a union of agents, and they have endorsed Christopher Wray. There's been some pushback, of course, but I would imagine he needs a majority vote in the Senate, that this will come out of the Judiciary Committee fairly quickly and then go onto the House floor for maybe one of the more, I would say, strong votes of Trump nominations.
Okay, and lastly, after today's hearing, were there any highlights or surprises as you were watching that?
I was interested to see some of the Republicans really press him on independence and press him on the Donald Trump Jr. question. So Lindsey Graham, in particular, really went after him in a way that if I weren't watching the screen closely, I would have thought this was a Democrat. So that was interesting as I think about this broader administration. I always watch kind of how the Republicans are moving with or against the administration. So that was interesting.
All right, Dr. Lee Hanna, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
We're going to head on over to Brian.